science with hands. Happy Wednesday, everyone. In Chicago last night, former President Biden gave his first speech since leaving office. As a result, millions of Americans believe in life after death. He was speaking to a group of kids for the disabled who were surprised to learn the keynote speaker was one of their clients.
Good morning, Wendy.
During his speech, he referred to black children and kids, which I heard was an improvement over his first draft. You know, what was nice?
I hope you slept great.
He was greeted by a throng of well-wishers. According to a new poll, California voters are not excited about Kamala running for governor. To improve her support among Hispanics, she's been working with a consultant. The world's...
Oh, thank you.
The world's first sperm
It's an Easter card.
in which human sperm cells will compete on a microscopic track.
It's an Easter card that came from the church house. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Will take place
I did. I slept like the dead. I did not want to get up.
in Los Angeles. Yeah, the winner goes home on this sock.
That's right.
Looks familiar, huh, Joe? The UK's top court ruled that so-called trans women do not fit the legal definition of woman. This from a league full of men that wear wigs. At least pass. New York AG Letitia James is under investigation for falsifying records to get loans. Isn't this exactly the thing she tried to prosecute?
It's cold
Trump
again
for?
this morning.
Makes me wonder, what if she banged Stormy Daniels? On one loan, Letitia reported her father as her husband. Hey, lady, stay in your lane, said one woman. Finally, California is proposing a new homeless college kids to sleep in their cars on campus. I highly recommend it, said one man. Homeless Don. All right, so apparently this entire week has been about one guy. You know, the Maryland dad with 3 kids, who also happens to be an illegal, likely a gang member and perhaps a domestic abuser. His name, don't know, don't care. All right, I got a family, a new baby, a dog, a job, a neighbor plagued by violent creeps. I don't need this. Here's what I do know. Here illegally, and like Joe Biden after a 3-bean burrito, he has to go.
Good morning, Red Mama.
Faced with an adult solution to a real
Good morning,
problem,
Red Mama.
the media yet again.
You put up the post I was going to put up. Like, word for word. The same exact post I was going to put up. But it to just leave it the fuck alone. I was like, nope. Red Mama already said it. The pathetic and how disgusting. Yeah. Dude, you guys. If I die, please don't put me on YouTube. Please don't. Please don't do that shit.
Creates an imaginary concern.
That's horrible.
From the same playbook
Anyway.
they always use. You worry about
Moving
voter
on.
fraud, they say voter ID is racist. You worry about government fraud.
Moving on.
They claim DOJ is cutting Social Security.
Yeah,
worry
you
about
took the
crime,
post right
they
out of
claim
my
all
mouth.
Cops are racist. You worry about medical monsters experimenting on children. They
You
claim
took the
trans
post
kids
out of
are
my
killing
mouth.
themselves.
But anyway.
Once you see this group,
Moving on.
We try to solve a real
Because
problem. They create the
we're not
imaginary
gonna be like
concern to
them.
manipulate public opinion. But this time it's not working. Overwhelmingly, the American public favored deportations of illegals, no matter what bull you conjure up. So kids or not, he's illegal, he goes. And here's why. Let's go all the way back to a few months ago.
Yeah, definitely.
Remember those migrants coming
Well,
in by the
you know,
millions?
we may
Migrants
not,
who we had no
but-
intel on, who we didn't vet, who we identified only enough to write checks
Salt
to.
in the wounds.
We knew less about those than the ones I meet at truck stops. Planes arriving in the middle of the night. New programs created by supposedly by a guy who couldn't find his way off the stage without a
crazy.
zip line. And all it took to get refugee status was saying, I hate tortillas. But now it's time for them to leave. Suddenly we're all social workers. Oh, he has kids. He works so hard. Well, pal, maybe don't pick a country. You're illegal.
Doxing people after they've passed away. Yeah, he takes you home when he wants to take you home. But doxing people? Oh my God. Never associate people like that. Never.
He works so hard. Well, pal, maybe don't pick a country.
Anyway.
You're legally in to start a family. It sounds harsh. Now, when it's compared to the
talking about this guy coming back from El Salvador,
raped and murdered by illegals that they, not to mention the relentless violence in cities they ignored for years because it was their watch. And now a couple of Democrat congressmen say they want to fly to El Salvador to retrieve this scum, who is an El Salvador citizen, by the way, not an American. Cory Booker wants to visit the prisoners in El Salvador. And that makes it the only place where people can't get up and leave.
Tasteless. No, that's ruthless. That's ruthless. That's ruthless. Like, really have no fear for your afterlife at all. At all. Zero fear for your afterlife.
But do the Dems realize they have no authority in El Salvador? El Salvador is a little different than the main room at the View.
El Salvador is different.
For one, the tattoos of View were branded by farmers.
Because they're cows.
Yeah.
Because they're cows.
They're used to it.
Because they're cows.
But really, the Maryland dad is just the latest full prop for the latest awful narrative.
Thanks, Mama Red, for sharing me.
What the Biden regime chose to import with the media.
Yeah, we don't control El Salvador.
The fentanyl, the overwhelmed schools, the raped and murdered women. Joe did a killer job. By that, I mean he actually got people killed. The media wants us crying over this. Dude, sorry. I'm saving my outrage for the Americans that Biden, Harris, and Mayu burdened, hurt, and betrayed. And yet the press is losing it like someone just said Brian Stelter farted. The Maine has run more stories on this jackass than they did on the victims of the crime wave created by the open border they created. Look, it's simple. Deportation is the corrective to importation. When they came in, our leaders didn't ask questions.
Never forget the
Instead,
13th.
they cared more about border agents getting whipping migrants. So now, when it's time to go, I'm not wasting mental shelf space on their concerns. Oh, but we're not sure he's MS-13. That sounds like a lot of the guys Kat used to date. But I repeat, I don't care. And don't get me started on, but isn't there a process?
The freaks come out.
Yes, there is. It's called
The freaks come out. Not just at night, in the morning too. Fucking freak.
You can argue the legal all you want. Have at it, Clarence Darrow, whatever his name is. But all of that is downstream from the initial massive injustice. A dead government that deliberately flooded the country with illegals.
Freak.
If they didn't create this mess, we wouldn't have to clean it up. It's that simple. If you want to argue the legal implications, call 1-800-I-DON'T-GIVE-A.
Yeah, 1-800-I-DON'T-GIVE-A. Because we don't be caring.
When he calls that suicide
Get it, Karen?
hotline, let it go to voicemail. He punctures left-wing fin, runs circles around libs. Former Trump advisor Steve Cortez. She's got it all. Looks, brains, and both kidneys. Federalist correspondent Brianna Lyman.
Oh, yeah, that heater feels good.
And like shuffleboard, women love to do him on cruise ship. New York Times best-selling author, comedian, and former heavyweight world champion Tyrus. Joe, you look great. You look like the hip reverend at a school for wayward kids. Yeah. Are you undercover tonight?
No, Greg. I have a meeting on a yacht.
Oh, really?
I will say due process is important, but it's all important for the plaintiffs. Mm-hmm. Now, here's a person that spent a country in 2011, spent 14 years and multiple children later. Mm-hmm. He's still here. It just, that reminds me of college, but I'll say this.
morning,
Look,
Kit Kat.
Trump did screw up here. They deported him to the one country he couldn't be deported to. They should send him somewhere worse, like France. But whenever you make a mistake, no matter how, you should try to fix it. Like one time, I damaged my brother's car, but I made sure that my dad paid for it.
Joe, a lot of lessons in that response. Steve, I have a real problem with the concern over one illegal alien somehow taking preference over they shared for actual citizens.
Right. Can I ask you first, though,
Yeah.
from your monologue, who hates tortillas?
That's my point.
I mean, as the lone Latino here, the
Yes.
token Latino, for the ensemble.
But you know, that was how easy it was to claim asylum.
Of course. Any ridiculous lie coached by American NGOs. Look, this guy is an absolute scumbag, right? And we know that because he beats women. If you beat women, you're a scumbag. But here's the point, too, Greg. It wouldn't matter if he were a wonderful person. He's passed. He still broke and entered into our homeland and was here illegally. So I don't care if it was Ward Cleaver. If he was that good of a husband and father, he has to go.
Do we remember Ward Cleaver, right? That's for all of our viewing. It's sad that I know that name. He was a great dad, though.
Amazing.
He really was. Brianna, you have no idea.
I have no idea who this is.
It's okay. If it wasn't on Good Times, I didn't either.
Why is it that when the Democrats are presented two choices, they always pick the wrong one? They side with the bad guy and then try to convince everybody, no, actually, they're misunderstood. Why don't you just go with your gut and you go like, I know this guy's bad.
Because why would they have to? They have the weight of the propaganda press behind them. This guy's apparently a Maryland. You would never glean from these headlines that he was here legally, should have been deported in 2018, and apparently beat his wife. But they do that on purpose. They want to blur the line between an illegal alien and a citizen to delegitimize these efforts to get rid of all the illegal aliens.
Yeah. Amazing, though, that it's all because of Trump. They have to pick they'll always pick the worst person because at least it's not Trump. I love Tyrus, that this guy Van Halen, what's his name, Van Hollen? He's no Van Halen. No. He's not even
Sammy
focused.
Hagar Van Halen.
Yes, he said. I would say the guy from Extreme was in.
Even worse Van Halen.
Yes.
Gary Chacon did an admirable job.
By the way, you're right. Where was I? That thing. He thinks he's doing like this amazing thing in the air. All the news comes out. This dude's a wife beater.
Yeah.
And Cory Booker's like, thank God I didn't drive to the airport.
The funny part is that he's going to El Salvador to tell them that they're wrong. Right. Yeah. And then you're gonna have to call the White House to get your jailed ass home. That ought to be I would love to be let me answer the phones that night. Hello? I'll have to put you on hold. Yeah. That's the problem with dumb people.
Yeah.
No, seriously. It's like they're dumb. Oh, they're dumb. But the problem is they don't know they're dumb because they're dumb.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, speaking of that lack of intelligence, they're playing in Trump's lane here, right? I mean, this by far is his strongest issue. All the polling shows us that, right? It was the foundational pillar of his election last November. Why do they continue to play in his lane, right, where he's strongest? Which just shows you how.
Well, it goes back to, and I've been on this thing about why they're so upset about Doge, and I think this guy falls into it. The corruption for the last 4 years. There was a shadow group running the government. There was a small percentage that kept picking things that didn't make sense to us. There were 20% on everything because that's where the embezzlement comes from and the money comes from. I think they're trying to make an example out of him. So when it comes to them, when we see congressmen being arrested for embezzlement, they're deporting us. They're taking us like they did. They're disappearing. Yeah. You got a warrant, bruh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But again, it goes back to my first point. Dumb.
Yeah, I resent the way the media is trying to force feed you their priorities. It's not their priority. They don't care about this guy either. But they're basically pushing this so hard on you to push all your other concerns out. What about this guy? Forget about the crime. Forget about the fact that downtown we had a young woman.
The guinea pigs are running around.
That's not your concern.
Good morning, Spa.
This gang member. That drives me
Welcome.
crazy.
who has a great gang member lawyer, by the way.
Yes.
Again.
Ooh, gangbanger lawyer. That sounds like a
Welcome,
great show.
Spa. Good morning.
Yes, Biden's still alive.
Whoa, Biden.
Pumped full of Imodium, Joe returned to the podium. For the first time since leaving the White House, and despite...
We're just talking about that Maryland man, illegal alien that was gone to El Salvador. And now we're going to talk about Joe Biden's speech. Happy morning. Still trying to get one-eyed ball to focus. Eyes to focus. I hear you, girl. Wash them out. Wash your face. Wash your face. So I think now we're going to rag on Biden. I think that's where we're going now, Spa.
Months of rest.
Welcome
Joe's
in,
speech
Lucky
Chicago
Belinda.
began just as you'd imagine. Roll it, Ethel.
Ethel.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. We deserve help.
I think you deserve help. Oh my God. Joe hold on and on trying to follow him. Was like trying to
Yes,
follow
windy
to a
lady.
Rubik's Cube in the dark.
That's what the legislation's about.
Guinea pigs are running a morning.
Simple dignity.
Simple. He's yelling at me again.
Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity. Who in the hell do they think they are? Every 5 years, then wait around and be... Not go further and get in trouble.
Anybody else? It must be important. Everything is I think months ago, the media said he was sharp as a tack. Now they're like, keep tacks away from this man. He could eat them. I wonder what he thinks about those 300-year-old folk getting Social Security.
Those 300-year-olds getting that Social Security, I want to meet them because I like to figure out how to live on it. Hell of a thing, man. I'm looking for longevity.
Please, stop looking. Even he knew that was going nowhere. But someone should tell me he repeats the findings of Doge. His disbelief makes their point. Why am I reasoning with a corpse? It makes no sense. At least he didn't say anything weird about black kids, right? Right?
I'd never seen hardly any black people in Scranton at the time, and I was only going in 4th grade. And I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by.
At the time. On second thought, maybe the Dems should run this guy in 2028. He might be able to get the old white racist vote. Of course, Joe didn't forget to stoke division for old time's sake.
We can't go on like this as divided as we are. Like I said, I've been doing this a long
That's
time.
a pain in the ass.
It's never been this divided.
My guinea pigs used to
Man,
squeak
it's
every time I
roughly
opened the
30%,
fridge and
but
got
it's
some
a
lettuce out.
30% that has no heart.
Okay, every time I wrinkle a bag, they start weaking. Did you know, Snow White, Wendy, that weaking, that ring sound that they make is they only make that to human beings. They don't sound to each other. They only make that sound to human beings. It's only for human beings. But they're like, me. And they're so cute. But they're kicking it up. They're definitely kicking it up. So cute. So me.
Beats having no brain. But once again, he condemns division in the same breath. He stokes it. Something he did in every speech back when he was pretending to be president. He's starting a fire with one hand and pretending to put it out with the other.
Only meant
But
for
you don't
humans.
blame the dementia on the dementia patient. You blame the person play with the matches.
I don't know. We'll see if they even have babies. They might not have babies. That's what we're praying for. No babies.
Steve, you were the first person in
My
media
dogs
to
looked at
come
the
out
TV
and
when you
call out
made
the Fine People
big
hoax,
noise.
which was Joe Biden's like tentpole hoax.
You should hear them make the sound. It's very unique. It's like, I don't know. They call it weaking. Let me see if I can get them to do it. They're doing it a little bit. I don't know if you can hear it. No, I just gave them food. That's why they're not really doing it now. But it's like, really funny. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it's a very cute little sound.
That he used to get to the White House, and as he preached unity, he would blurt that thing out, which is create more division.
Right.
Why is he still here?
Right.
No, no
Regarding
guinea
that
pig
hoax,
farm.
It was the
No.
temple. It was the grand lie upon which all the other hoaxes and they flowed from it. So it was incredibly important for it to be debunked because it was totally
Male
true.
and females
Joe
will be
Biden,
split
let's
up,
remember, it's back
and the
to him.
females will be
He launched
rehomed.
his presidential campaign on that hoax.
Yes.
He claimed
Including
that
the
the Charlottesville
mother.
hoax necessitated him to get into the race.
Yeah.
A complete lie. I mean, amazing hubris, right? And then for him to grandstand in Chicago, of all places, by the way, a city that Democrats, his allies, have completely
I've
ruined.
seen people
I lived
with
there
those
for
guinea
50
pig
years. We got
herds.
chased out by the crazies. A lot of
mess.
sensible folks now live in red America. But for him to go to Chicago, of all places, and have the arrogance to try to lecture us about
That looks
division
like a
when he is
fucking
the
mess.
commander-in-chief.
Yeah, you know, the funny thing is the Prime People hoax and what he did just there, part of this illusion that white people are racist except for him. Because he's pointing out the racism and he's exempt. I'm just the congenial old white guy who, when he was a kid, saw the racism everywhere. Brianna, why is he back? Is he taking the limelight? Is this all the work of Dr. Jill? Is she back there just pumping him full of pills?
Look, Biden, I think, sees this as an opportunity. He lost a chance at a good legacy when Kamala Harris
Yeah, that
lost.
shit looks
As she won,
crazy.
she
I don't
would
think I
carry
could
the
do that,
torch,
Mama
she wasn't
Red.
gonna Donald Trump
Red
has
Mama.
dismantled his
Where is
legacy. In his
Mama
first
Red?
3 months, we've seen such a decent border crossings, which just underscores how bad Biden was on that issue. So Biden can't win. I think he sees this as an opportunity to get back out there and say, don't you wish you had me back? And no, we're good.
Yeah, we're good. Oh, the old man smell is bad enough. Tyra, how did it feel? How did it feel seeing your old friend Joe?
I think I can speak for everyone, man. It felt like I forgot to wear my clothes on the show. It was awkward.
Yeah, very awkward.
His wife hates him. I mean, that's a whole other kind of hate that I could only attain one day, to have a woman hate me so much that she would wheel me out to the people to milk every dime that I had. Here's a Coke back, finally. That dignity speech wasn't about America. He turned aside and goes, everyone deserves dignity. And she was like, shut up, make your money. Like, that is spousal abuse to the highest level. But here's the best part of this. I know we don't have a lot of technical geniuses here, but please, when he's talking about divisiveness, can we roll that again? It was so important.
Stand by, they
Stand
said.
by, everybody freeze, nothing's happening. I'll sign like Gavin Newsom while we wait.
Keep going with this.
Okay. Shut up.
As we are.
You can hear the feedback
said I've been doing
from the
this a long
microphone,
time.
and he said something people
never
would
been this
cheer for.
divided.
We got to end divisiveness.
And it's roughly 30%, but it's a 30%
The
that
crowd
has
is
no heart.
like you are right now. That was a cheer moment.
Yeah.
Harris was like, yeah, end divisiveness. They're like, is he okay?
Is he okay? No, he's not okay. Sass is over 42 pounds, 5 months, bathtub, gets in goodness.
How did you feel for Joe?
Good God.
Oh, that was bananas, Greg. When he went on stage and talked while the music was still playing, they got to write on the note card, wait until the music stops before you start talking. But to Steve's point, that's his MO.
That she is gonna be a big girl. My littlest red dog is 64 pounds.
tell a fake story before he talks about what he wants to talk about. He did this with climate change. He's like, I have oil cancer.
Big and
That's not real.
sassy. Hey.
It's something he does
Good
all the time.
wordplay there,
When he talked about
Red-Mo.
gay rights, he talked about seeing the two men kissing with his dad. I use my own life all the time too. I tell a fake story to get what I want. Like I'll be on a first date, like, oh, I'm sorry I'm late. I tripped getting into my BMW on the way back from that charity work. I sure hope you're not one of those women that doesn't like to talk about their feelings.
You're so suave.
Suit says it all.
It really does. You know, when I think about it now, like the two gay guys.
She gets the
and,
sassy from you,
and that story are exactly
Wendy.
the same.
I don't know what's less believable, that Biden remembers a bus going by 70 years ago or longer racist.
Yeah, a whole bus full of colored kids.
Yes.
Nothing worse than a bus full of colored kids drives by.
Up next, Oprah's bestie has.
Hey, it's video of the day. Oh, stretchy.
Old King cried. It's more than just a ride. Self-proclaimed
Oh, this
astronaut
was
and
stupid.
show host Gayle King brings us our video of the day.
Good morning.
Apparently, you're a sexist if you call Monday's all-female Blue Origin mission into space just a ride. Roll it, Hector.
What do you think when people say, oh, it's frivolous? Number one, they call it a ride, which I find very irritating because they never say men went for a ride. What do you say who think that this was frivolous or just a ride? I think the message that it sends very, very powerful. And the people that say that, by the way, weren't there.
Oh, yeah, because we're not
Oh,
big rich
you
ladies.
weren't there.
Big rich ladies.
You weren't
So
there.
was it? If it wasn't a ride, did you touch a single button, operate a single lever? Oh, you went straight up, then you came back down. Lasted only 11 minutes. You were just a passenger along for the ride. Like the time Russia sent a dog into space.
Oh, shit. Oh,
Believe we have a
shit.
picture.
Did he just compare them 5 women to a dog? Yeah, I see you, you ratchet ass bitch, talking about and dead people on the internets. Fucking disgusting waste of flesh. Excuse me, sorry. We're talking about women going to space. But he just referred to those women as like the dog.
A ride. Did you touch a single button, operate a single lever? No, you went straight up, then you came back down. Lasted only 11 minutes. You were just a passenger along the ride. Like the time Russia sent a dog into space. Believe we have a picture.
It was Joy Bearheart.
Brianna. Okay. She's the only woman here, as far as I know. We know sometimes with Joe. Are you offended when somebody calls their mission just a ride?
Offended that I have to share the same gender as these ladies. I mean, these women, they went up in space for 11 minutes. Mind you, I would have been
Horrible
happy if they went up
person.
there for a few months.
Yeah.
And they
That's not
accomplished
red.
Absolutely nothing. Made no scientific advancements, and then say they want this.
That is not red. And if that is you, little brother, I thought you were that fucking lunatic. Oh, well, damn. Good morning, little brother. I didn't know it was you. I thought that was that lunatic. Sorry. What you said earlier threw me off. You said something about, you talked in the third person. You were like, Red wants something to do, wah, 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 or some shit. And I was like, the fuck? Okay, it's you. All right, sorry, didn't mean to talk shit. That wasn't meant for you then.
Same accolades as the female actress.
Threw me
who
off
came
with your
back after
first
she was
comment.
abandoned by the Biden administration. So insulting.
Yeah, it's a go girl moment.
It's a girl boss moment. Obnoxious girl bossing.
Exactly, Tyrus. Why can't she just be happy that she has a friend that got her on a rocket ship?
Someone made
She's
me
an asshole.
short. Well, damn.
Listen, you went
I thought it was
wrong.
that lunatic.
You were in space for 42 seconds, okay? It's like they went to the carnival. Remember the Hammerhead? They went up there, and they got to come down. And they stepped out. You know what they did? They said these stupid-ass speeches.
Yeah.
Like, I left all the divisiveness on Earth and saw how...
It's a couple of them.
Stop!
What do you mean, a
Harry
couple
was like,
of them?
all the love. And you got all that in 11 minutes? Right. I don't ever want to hear a woman again complain about me being 30 seconds because a lot can happen in a short amount of time.
I love Joe how she's complaining about the publicity, but this entire thing was a publicity. If they really wanted to do so, they wouldn't have had them at all unless it was for marketing.
Oh, a
PR.
couple of lunatics.
Right,
It's
like
a
Neil
couple.
Armstrong
Okay, I
was
get it now.
was a fighter pilot. That's why he was an astronaut. Sonny Carter was a physicist. That's why he
Sorry, my brain is just very analytical and it just goes, it doesn't follow sometimes what you guys are talking about.
was an astronaut. Gail King's a talk show host. It's not really necessary to have. If no one's like, oh, there's a problem with the, oh, we're going to talk you through it. Better put the talk show host on. This was a participation trophy. That's what this was. And I know participation trophies, Greg.
Yeah.
When I played basketball in high school, Spirit Award. I was so good at cheering on my teammate, he even suggested I go out for cheerleading next year.
I always won the Team Spirit Award because I was like the only kid that never had any dirt on them, would never sweat because I was just sitting there the whole time.
Clean
Hey,
uniform.
Mama D!
I didn't mind it though. I hated sports. See, but that's for time. Do you think they were allowed to touch anything? They were probably tied up in there.
Yeah.
Do you actually think this might be fate? But they don't know
Good
it's
morning.
fake. Like they were put in the rocket, they shook the thing.
Yeah.
Good deal.
It was inside some sound stage.
Like a ride at Universal.
Yeah, a ride at Universal.
Look, I think it's wonderful that the Real Housewives of LA got to take a field trip, right? I mean, it's really, honestly, it was just pathetic. I would like to give them a new name. They call themselves astronauts. I think they are the flying herpes of Instagram, okay? Because that's really
See,
what this
I'm
was,
lost
just
again. I
completely
don't know what's fake.
manufactured for social media. And for them to get so sanctimonious,
Like,
like to your
I
point, Tyler,
can't
they
follow
come
the
back
chat
to
this
Earth
morning. I don't
after
know
their
why.
arduous mission and acting like it's the right stuff sequel, right? I mean, like this is Chuck Yeager, like this is a test pilot. No.
What do they want you to call it?
Greg.
Yeah.
They got on their knees and kissed the ground Earth that they left for 11 minutes.
11 minutes, that's longer than I watch CBS mornings.
What are you supposed to call it? Like what was the want? Mission? That's not a mission.
I mean, I guess we could say it was a bunch of kids on a bus.
Oh, shit.
All right, we must move on. Coming up, Trump revenge.
A story in 5 words.
No one's above the law. Tyrus! This is so good.
I don't know what you're talking
So
about,
the Trump
Praxis. I have no
administration has
idea.
accused New York Attorney General Letitia James.
Yeah, I'm just
of
saying,
mortgage
I have
fraud,
no idea.
alleging
I'm
she
lost, so I'm
falsified
just ignoring
to
it.
secure favorable loan terms. You know, she went after Trump for similar things, except these are real.
If it gets annoying, y'all handle it.
How do
Only
you
one
feel?
that done something nice is seen.
You know,
I ain't seen nothing,
it's
and
whenever
I'm
it's one
not
of us.
talking about.
You always
shit.
want to like, oh man, but this time, no.
It's
sure, fine,
bullshit
right,
to
yeah.
put dead people. It's bullshit to put dead people on the internet. The end, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. Because how the fuck can they give their consent? So, the end.
You pushed something that didn't have the statute of limitations. Apparently, this one is in the statute of limitations. And she was turned in. It was pretty on what she did, what she's accused of doing. No, I'm going to be like them. What she did. It was a danger to humanity, and it was a danger to our democracy. This is going to stop our right to vote because she said she married her dad, put her parents on her thing, and lied about where she lived. Democracy, as we know it, could end if this is not fixed, Gutfeld.
Yes, exactly. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
No one is above the law.
No one could disappear.
Yeah.
We could be disappeared.
Yes. It's chaos. Last week it was chaos. Everything was chaos.
That's how I feel
now
about
it's
that.
disappear.
And I won't say any more on the
Steve,
subject.
She on the application listed her father as her husband. That's interesting.
Taking a page out of the book of Ilhan Omar.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
The family tree gets a little jumbled for some of these folks. That's to me though the most ludicrous. That's absurd, of course, but even more ludicrous is when you are a state elected official in the state of New York and you say you live in Virginia. I mean, that's a pretty brazen lie, right?
Yeah.
That's not minor in my view. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and it seems like
Hate that
prosecutorial
saying.
gun has
It's
been turned
overused.
around. She's not liking being in the crosshairs very much.
Yeah,
It's
I always
true,
wondered
but
what
it's
a gander
overused.
was, Joe. Do you have a gander? What's good for the goose? The gander's always there saying, "Hey, what about me?"
Well, I'm not sure what a gander is, but it sounds delicious. I'll take two.
Is that a male? Is it gander?
It's a male goose. Yeah.
Ah, you know what? What's good for the goose is good for the male goose.
Thank you.
Saves a lot of time. Change that, Merriam-Webster. That's Webster's mom.
Yeah, I mean, to Steve's point,
Oh, God.
these weren't innocent mistakes.
No.
You don't say that you're married to your dad accidentally and then don't correct it. I mean, it's not like when I can't remember the names of one of my many lovers.
Yes. It's true. Isn't it true that you often tell your lover, "Please don't tell me your name because I'll only forget it"?
And I lie to mortgage brokers. I say I'm not the Joe Mackey that appears on Gutfeld. That way they won't ask me what I'm wearing.
Brianna, you know what bothers me? Do you live in New York?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, so we've had terrible crime for I don't know how long. She's the attorney general. All of her time was focused on and not what was going on in the streets.
She also could have been focused on what was going on in the sheets with her dad, apparently.
Yeah, that's true.
This woman has given a whole new meaning to daddy issues by marrying her father here. And I think what the funniest part about all of this is twisting themselves up, figuring out how do we cover this? Because they were complicit the last time when she was going after Donald Trump, and now they're like, oh, we didn't expect her to also be doing the same thing, apparently. So they're trying to sweep it under the rug.
Good
So
morning,
it'll be interesting
Porter
how they
Farmer.
Go forward with it.
Steve, are you a lawyer too?
No, God.
No. Oh, okay.
How did I give you that vibe?
The socks with the shoes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Kit Kat. It just, in my opinion, and I am a papered crazy person. Maybe I think about this wrong or whatever, okay? But in my opinion, it's attention-seeking behavior.
You have the lawyer that wants to meet his client at the golf course look. But do you think this is going to move forward? Do you think Trump's going to
He certainly should, yes. And I think it's important.
For all the wrong reasons.
As a matter of justice, it's important as a matter of political payback. And then here's what I really think he should do, and this would be the coup de grace if he does it, is absolutely indict her and then pardon her.
Nice. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. That's exactly what he would do. That is so Trump.
And she could never practice law again.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, I mean, what? Now the lady's got to be dead for you to show off the bears? You know, like, I'm sorry. Could be, like I said, I'm crazy. I'm a papered crazy person. Everybody's seen receipts. That's just me. It's just me. Oh.
She could move in. She could do a Real
Hello.
Housewives with the other girl, Fannie Willis. I would the hell out of that. All right.
They can go up in the spaceship.
There you go.
You ain't fitting her in no spaceship, bro.
CNN loves America.
Ghirardelli and
I don't know, like I said, I'm crazy as
makes
hell.
life a bite better. What's happening?
Sometimes my brain don't work like it should.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is cold. I think I might have storms coming again. I don't know, we'll see. It's on a commercial, I should have to hear it.
We got another clip for you. It's video of the day. Part 2.
Our second video of the day comes to us from CNN anchor Dana Bash, who took it very personally when Trump said this about her network earlier this week.
The fake news, like CNN over here doesn't want to put them out because they don't like putting out good numbers. They don't really like putting because I think they hate our country, actually.
I just want to say, for the record, since we heard President Trump say in the Oval Office that CNN hates our country, CNN does not hate our country. That should go without saying. I've been here for 32 years, and I see a rhetorical device in him trying to say such a thing.
All right, Steve, you worked at CNN. Even when something like that upsets her, no personality,
right?
No emotion, just like almost a robotic response. We do not hate America, love America, and also fact-checking an opinion.
Right,
hilarious.
Well, and look, also, in a lot of times in politics and media, if you're explaining, you're losing, right? The fact that she had to clarify that we don't hate America probably means, yeah, you do hate America.
Yeah.
Okay.
She said it goes without saying.
Right.
And then she says it.
And I can tell you this, as the only person here, I believe, who worked for CNN, they 100% hate America. And I will tell you, the crazy you see on, it's actually worse off air. And I'm not kidding. They're even more radical. They're even more Trump deranged. They hate regular America, middle America, even more than they show on the air, believe it or not.
What does Brian Stelter smell like?
Well, a potato, of course.
A potato?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fried potato, stewed potato.
Yeah, baked potato with all the trimmings, extra bacon.
Yes. Yes. I could pick your brain for hours, but I don't have time, Joe. I have a meeting tonight on a yacht. You've got to pick up a briefcase.
I'm picking up a briefcase.
It'll be handcuffed to your wrist.
Greg, I don't know whether or not everyone at CNN loves or hates America, but it feels like you're dealing with an ex.
Yeah.
When you hear from them, because they lie, they want all your money to be taken away, and they want to mess up your kids. Now, I don't know if it's probably just hyperbolic on Trump's, but they hate America per se, but it definitely seems like they don't like capitalism. They don't like having borders, and they don't like our culture. So in a sense, what he said is actually true.
Brianna, they might not hate it, but it seems like they hate half of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know who never has to say whether they love America? Fox News.
Yeah.
You know why? Because you guys don't platform people who say America was never great before. And they're twisting themselves up for Donald Trump. I mean, he's helping resuscitate the ratings since he's been back in office.
Yeah, it's true. But they were down so low, it's not that hard to kick it up a few, Tyrus, I obviously... Some people say that I love America too much.
You hear that all the time.
I mean, I can make America uncomfortable with my love.
Literally after this show, he'll go outside and get on all fours and kiss the ground. And
Yes.
thank everyone for the amazing trip we were just on. That is the Gutfeld Show. It is passionate.
Yeah, sometimes
powerful.
I'll ask some people just to put a chain around my neck and walk me as I kiss the ground. Yeah.
Thank the country that you love so much.
I'll ask some men downtown to beat the love out of me.
Yeah, and this is the part where I get off the bus. Go ahead, Gutfeld.
The colored bus?
Yeah, I'm on the colored bus. You can't come. My
Nazi.
Look, man, she's just like any one of my baby mamas. Every time she turns on the damn TV, they got to see me winning, and then someone comes up to them and be like, "Hey, man, did you see Tyrus is on TV again? You got another?" Yeah, he's good. I'm happy. I'm so happy for him. Like CNN is just the ex-wife that Trump just loves to remind how good he's doing and how.
Damn Hyacinth trying to rub tail off again.
Much prettier his new wife is. He's just rubbing it in their face, but yet they still come to the Little League game and sit next to him.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, I do love you, America. Some say a little bit too much. Don't get that
Ditto.
restraining order. We'll be right back. Studio audience, my six legs, that's how I love you, America.
You're fine, Kit Kat. I love it. All right. You know what time it is. It is time for Lefties Losing It.
Time for Lefties Losing It, and George Clooney was on CNN being interviewed by the fawning Jake Tapper. Clooney, sporting one of the worst guy jobs in Hollywood history, is again lying and playing the hero, claiming that it was his civic duty to out Joe Biden for not being up to it and needing to step down.
You yourself did something that a lot of people would call brave when you wrote your op-ed.
Well, I don't know if it was brave. It was a civic duty. When I saw people on my side of the street not telling the truth, I thought that was time to...
Are people still mad at you for that?
Some people, sure. People criticize me.
They're talking about George Clooney wrote that op-ed about Joe Biden being fucked up at the charity dinner and that he wasn't coherent and with it and all of that. That's what this is about.
You yourself did something that a lot of people would call brave when you wrote your op-ed.
Well, I don't know if it was brave. It was a civic duty. When I saw people on my side of the not telling the truth, I thought that was time to...
Are people still mad at you for that?
Some people, sure. People criticize me. They criticized me because of my stance against the war 20 years ago, and some people picketed my movies, and they put me on a deck of cards. And I have to take that. That's fair. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with criticism for for where I stand.
Really, I'm just marveling at that hair dye. I mean, how? Why? No. We did cover this whole thing when he tried to rewrite history on 60 Minutes a few weeks back. You know, George must think we're all suffering from Biden's cognitive decline, because far from taking a principled stance and doing his civic duty, Clooney was part of the Biden cover-up. Not only did he hold a massive Hollywood fundraiser for Joe Biden, we all remember the president glitching and having to be assisted off the stage by Barack Obama. Then we had the White House lie to us and say the videos of him being held off stage were right-wing disinformation. I remember all that, and I remember that George Clooney said nothing. That all happened at his event. He didn't do his civic duty then. No, he waited weeks and weeks and weeks. Only after Biden had that disastrous debate performance against Donald Trump did George Clooney write that op-ed. In fact, it's weeks after the debate. Now, protests continue against the president, but don't bother asking any of these concerned citizens what they're exactly protesting about.
All right, Praxis, you need to chill out. I don't know what you're talking about, but chill.
Asking any of these concerned citizens what they're exactly protesting about.
Can you tell us about your sign today?
Well, he's a liar, don't you think?
What do you think is the biggest lie he's told?
I think everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. I think everything that he says, you should believe the opposite.
Any specific examples?
Where do I even begin? Thank you. What do you...
You can come join.
This is my son, Rick.
Hi.
What's the lie that Donald Trump...
I don't like him.
I've got no clues. Now, I wonder what this next lass is talking about. Perhaps the Secret Service. Care to have a word with her?
Is there not someone out there with a terminal illness that's willing to do it? I mean, I'm sure people are willing to help. If you're willing to do it, I think that there are people willing to help organize it.
Now, remember when New York Attorney General, the woman who campaigned on a promise of Trump, remember when Letitia James weaponized her office and conjured up absurd charges in order to get Trump? She claims no one is above the law.
Stand up and enforce the rule of law. The President of these United States is not above the law.
No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same rules.
You were saying?
The Federal Housing Finance Agency has sent a criminal referral to the DOJ accusing James of mortgage fraud. In a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi, Director Bill Pulte says James appears to have falsified records in order to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms. He cited a property in Virginia that she's allegedly claimed as her principal residence.
As a New York elected official, she had to say that her principal residence was in New York. This was an out-of-state residence. But also, they claimed that in some of these forms, she actually states that her
Letitia
father
lost
is
her
her
damn
husband
mind.
in order to file as a married couple.
Oh dear, looks like the karma bus has come for Letitia, and maybe she knew it was coming, because watch here at the National Action Network 2025 convention early this month. She looks nervous. She's unraveling.
My mission is clear. I'm focused. I'm prepared. I'm ready. I've been trained by the best. I went to Howard University. I'm not afraid of no president. Donald Trump, we're ready for you. We're coming for you. We're standing up for you. We're fighting on. We're not going down silent. Victory, my friends, is clear. It's now. I'm waiting 4 years. I'm waiting 2 until a speaker by the name of Hakeem Jeffries comes to bring us some rest. Come on, ladies.
Oh, so they're gonna push Hakeem Jeffries. Really?
It's up to us. We saved this democracy before. We'll save it now. Let's go.
Joining me now is host of Sarah Gonzalez Unfiltered on Blaze TV and VP of Texas Family Pro. Sarah, what can you tell me about the allegations against Letitia James?
Well, you know, it's interesting, Rita.
Yeah,
Thanks for
we're
having me
coming
back,
for
by the
you.
way.
That's
It's
exactly
interesting.
what it
She
is.
was just screaming that she was focused, and I was, and it didn't look like she was very focused at all. They were looking at.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, we're coming for you.
Two different directions. What I can tell you about her allegations are that these Democrats here in this country, I don't know if it's like this for you guys over there, but in our country, the Democrats who are accusing Republicans of crimes are the ones who are committing the crime, projecting their crimes. Every single time they project their crimes onto us. And so you had Letitia James, an attorney general of New York, who was accusing Donald Trump of civil fraud for misrepresenting how much he was worth.
Yeah, girl.
And then James herself gets accused of misrepresenting for a loan. And apparently she was the attorney general of New York, and she was telling the loan company that her primary residence was going to be in a completely different state. You can't do that when you're the attorney general of New York. So I'm going to say she sunk on this one, and it couldn't happen to a more deserving person.
No, and there's even reports that she'd claimed in the loan documents to have been married to her father to get a better interest rate. I mean, the full allegations here are something else. But of course, the leftist media is treating this like some sort of political persecution. Even the headlines are misleading. Have a look at that one, making it look like they're targeting Democrats, but really they're targeting alleged fraud here. And unlike Letitia James, they're not trying to create cases out of thin air. I mean, her case against Donald Trump was just really out there.
Yeah, hit the like. Thanks for reminding me, Kit Kat.
Something's off. Big, easy.
Commercial. All right, you guys, I'm going to get ready to go. I love you. I hope you have a great day. Oh, I got to move dogs around, get dogs inside. Oh. I love you guys. See you. Have a great day. Bye, Wendy. Kit Kat. Bye, guys. Loves. Yes. Bye, guys.